Good evening and welcome to coverage of the VRG Virtual Racing League. This is Jim Karamanis with the Vintage Racer Group, and tonight we're coming at you from Daytona International Speedway in Daytona, Florida. Tonight, Season 3, Race 3 of the VRL. Tonight's event is called the VRG Virtual Cup. Practice runs from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, qualifying from 9 to 9:20, and the green flag waves at 9:20 for a 40-minute race, with an anticipated ending around 10 o'clock. Points leader Stefan Vappa is the first one to put a lap on the board in practice. So we'll be stepping away from the commentary box for just a little bit. Enjoy the action, and we'll be back to commentate shortly. And we're back. This is Jim Karamanis with the VRG. We hope you're enjoying tonight's coverage of the VRL for the VRG Virtual Cup at Daytona International Raceway. Let's follow Niall McCabe around in the 909. Good to see Matt Barber on track tonight. And as soon as I say that, we get a spin. I'm sorry about that, Matt. Cameraman's curse strikes again. Good to see you out there nonetheless. And we're on board with series points leader Stefan Vapa. Stefan, of course, won last week very convincingly. And so far, he's dominating practice. Let's go on board with Stefan as he takes his lap. This is NASCAR 4. We're approaching start-finish here. And we'll dive down into turn 1 of the road course. This section, affectionately known as the International Horseshoe. And here we enter the horseshoe. No camber helping you here. But you are flat out at this point. Flat out as we enter the second horseshoe. On the brakes. And we accelerate through this corner. Again, everything's very flat here in the infield. And then there's one more corner in the infield that takes us back onto the oval. And this transition onto the oval is a bit abrupt. Stefan is approaching the bus stop chicane And the entrance to the bus stop is a very popular passing point on the track. Especially in these Skip Barber cars, are so evenly matched. Most of your passing opportunities are under braking. And back onto the oval. Through NASCAR 3. Coming around the 4, and then back to start finish. On board now with Ralph Salomon. Ralph in the number 98. Ralph approaching the bus stop. Scott Nettleship, hot on its tail. Scott taking the high line. Looks like the momentum will take him around Ralph. Nice clean pass. Let's climb on board and watch Mac McCormack out of New York. Mac seems to be having some internet problems tonight. Let's hope that stabilizes before the race. Now with Christian Berzins. Looks like he's sporting the Tag Heuer livery tonight. Let's go on board with Christian. And we're going to take a little break here. We'll let the camera continue to roll through what's exciting on track, and we'll be back shortly. Certainly in time to commentate qualifying. Welcome back to Daytona International Raceway. This is Jim Karamanis with the Vintage Racer Group. Tonight, we have the VRG Virtual Cup at Daytona International. We're in the Skip Barber tonight. We're about halfway through practice. Qualifying kicks off at 9 o'clock. On board with Steve Ficacci from New Jersey. Steve usually hangs out here in the booth with either myself or Ian Wisbin. But tonight we're having a little fun and giving Steve a chance to jump in the car and feel out the series firsthand. I'm sure that'll help give him some interesting insight next week when he jumps back in the booth for coverage of our Season 3 finale at Lime Rock Park. Steve's setting the fastest time of practice so far at a 2:12.6. Clark Orstrom. Looks like he's running the John Player Special livery tonight. Reminiscent of the World Championship winning ride of one Mario Andretti in Lotus 79. Maybe this is Clark's way of lobbying us to bring the Lotus 79 into a future season of the series. Sharp looking car. Kurt Usbay in his patented purple. Kurt in the number 42. We expect to see Kurt out Labor Day weekend at Lime Rock Park in his beautiful full chevron. But tonight he's out in the purple Skippy. Good to see Kurt back. I believe he missed last week. Darren Treacle has joined the mix. Darren, of course, was in the booth with me last week at Mid-Ohio. Back on track this week at Daytona. Darren is approaching start-finish. Jumps up to third. Clark Garstrom letting Darren by. Darren, of course, our Season 1 and Season 2 champion. Jump on board with Todd Angel. Todd races a beautiful Porsche with VRG in the real world. Tonight he's on track in his BF Goodrich Skippy Barber. Looks like Todd's getting a good toe off the car in front of him. Draft is very important at Daytona International, especially in these cars. Todd once again taking advantage of the draft. Jump back on board with Stefan Vappa. Stefan is now set the fastest time of the practice session at a 2:12.296. Currently chasing down Darren Treacle. Darren and Stefan taking some very different lines onto the banking. Well, looks like Stefan's blinking a little bit. Let's hope that's under control by race time. "19 minutes left in the practice session. Stefan getting a little agricultural. Doesn't seem to hurt his time too much, so. See if he can get a toe off Darren. Darren goes a little faster that lap, but still a little bit off the pace. Still hunting for some time. That toe really starting to let Stefan reel Darren in, getting ever closer. Let's see if Stefan can use this draft to set another fastest lap time. So Darren goes a little quicker. Getting ever closer to Steve Ficacci's time. Jump on board with Mac McCormack in the 109. Of course, races a Mini Cooper in the real world with VRG, and tonight he's out in the Skip Barber. He's in the top 5 right now. Max circles the banking, headed for start-finish. Let's see if he can improve on his practice time. Mac doesn't improve, but Todd Angel jumps up a couple spots. Now in the top 5 at a 2:15.0. Looks like Todd is getting a good toe off of Bob Lang. It's a great tool for achieving that elusive fast lap time. "13 minutes left in practice. And then we'll begin qualifying for the VRG Virtual Cup. Looks like Darren may have had a little off here. Oh! Darren and Stefan have a little contact. Looks like Darren got the worst of that. Todd Angel using that draft to run down Bob Lang. Looks like he's going to execute the pass going into the bus stop. Now it'll be Bob's turn to take advantage of the draft. And the draft doing its thing. Bob attempting to make a move on Todd. Oh, and he gets a little sideways. Sometimes when you get in that toe, your speed ends up being a little faster into the corner than what you're used to. Looks like it caught Bob out just a bit, but I'm sure he learned something there. Something that he can use later in the race. Todd moves up to fourth, just ahead of Bob. Thousandth of a second apart. Virtually identical lap times. Looks like these two will be scrapping all night. Back on board with Ralph Salomon. And it looks like the cameraman's curse got you. Sorry about that, Ralph. Jump back on board with Kurt Usbay. Kurt headed back onto the banking. Currently in 10th position. Matt Barber appears to be blinking. Let's hope he gets that worked out before the race. Back with Darren Treacle. Nice save, Darren. I'm sure he'll be upset that he'll have to throw that lap off, but much better than stuffing it in the wall. Back on board with Christian Persons and his Tag Heuer, being followed closely by Steve Ficacci. Let's see if Steve can improve upon his 2:12.6. Ficacci coming around 4, NASCAR 4. Headed for start finish. Doesn't improve this lap. And we've got about 3 minutes left in practice, and then we'll kick off qualifying. Back on board with Bob Lang. Welcome to Carlos Bonds, taking his first laps of the night. Bonds coming around NASCAR 4. I believe this should be his first time lap. Oh, maybe that was his out lap. Looks like Steve Ficacci has got a little closer to Stefan Vappa's fastest time at a 2:12.438. Just about a tenth off. Should be quick enough to make it an interesting race. And that's the end of practice. Now our drivers will get a drink, change their tires, fuel up, head back out for practice and qualifying. And here we are. Darren Treacle following Christian Berzins on track. Everyone's going to start looking for a drafting partner now. The draft can add 1 to 2 seconds to a qualifying time if you catch the draft at just the right time. Nettleship lets Treacle by. First laps generally are not the quick ones in these cars. It takes a couple laps to get these tires up to temperature. Once they're up to temperature, they seem to stay there for the entirety of the race. Vappa getting ready to complete his first time lap. Oh, that's a good save there. That won't help with lap times, though. On a track this large, 20 minutes actually is not a lot of time to get a clean lap in. Though you don't have the traffic problems that you have at a shorter track, you can't make any mistakes because it takes a good 3 to 4 minutes to just get that first lap in. Vappa enters the bus stop. Darren Treacle, the first to get a time on the board at a 2:13.649. Now, in order to record a time, you cannot have any incidents on your lap. So I suspect that Stefan's near spin in the lap coming into turn 1 probably nullified that lap. So he'll have to wait for this lap to get his first timed lap. Clark Orstrom gets a time on the board. Steve Ficacci is purple in sectors 1 and 3. Let's watch him as he enters a bus stop here. Mac McCormick setting a time. Not sure if Steve had an off there or not. Can ride that curb pretty abruptly without getting an off. Let's see if he gets that first timed lap here. Sporting the beautiful VRG livery on the Ficacci family racing Skip Barber Ford. Sorry, Skip Barber 2000. Used to calling Formula Ford, and Ficacci goes first for the 2:12.841. Fastest lap so far. Vappa has gone purple in sector 3. Todd Angel jumps up to third at a 2:15.4. Vappa getting ready to complete his first time lap, and he's up into the 2:12s at a 2:12.502. That's good enough to top the leaderboard at the moment. Bob Lang trying to hunt down Christian Bersons right now. Fighting like this, not good for your lap times in qualifying. Lang goes offline to make the pass. Gives him the track position that he'll so desperately want. That is terrible for lap times. So he's probably thrown this lap away already. Vappa, Ficacci, and Treacle bouncing back and forth between fastest sector of the session so far. See the massive parking lot at Daytona International as Bob Lang takes through the bus stop chicane. Coming around NASCAR 3. Headed for NASCAR 4. And onto the main straight. Let's see what Lang can do here. Lang hops up to 6. Vappa going purple again. Continues to top the leaderboard, now at a 2:12.272. Ralph Salomon currently in ninth. Carlos Bonds currently in seventh at a 2:17.022. Bonds, of course, missed all of practice. Coming up to speed very quickly, considering. Again, this is Jim Karamanis with the Vintage Racer Group. Hope you're enjoying qualifying for the VIG VRL Virtual Cup at Daytona International Speedway. This is Season 3, Race 3 of the VRL. You're on board with Carlos Bonds, currently with the 7th fastest time in qualifying. A little under 10 minutes left in qualifying. Bonds entering the bus stop. Bonds goes slightly faster, still in 7th position. Mac McCormack getting a little squirrely going into turn 1. Currently sitting in 5th position. With about 5 minutes left in qualifying, these drivers will be looking for that elusive fast lap. Vappa goes even faster, jumping up to 2:11.925. That is the fastest time we've seen tonight. McCormack heading back onto the front straight. Let's see if he can improve on his previous fast lap of 2:15.857. And he's a little slower on that lap, 2:16.902. But overall, I'm sure Mac is thrilled with his top 6 performance. Bob Lang jumping up to 5th with a 2:15.481. Darren Treacle jumps into the 212s at a 2:12.863, just a hair behind Ficacci. Let's see if Lang can improve on his previous fast time of a 2:15.481. No, he must have had an off somewhere. Todd Angel currently 4th at a 2:14.318. For a guy that's used to racing sports cars, he's taken to these open wheel cars quite quickly. Treacle in second place at a 2:12.289. Steve Ficacci, this is Jim Karamanis in the booth. Do you read me? Well, we'll see if we can't try Steve again during the race. Todd Angel with a good lap, doesn't quite improve, but showing good speed as he gets ready for the race to begin. And looks like checkers are out. As soon as we have it, we will bring the grid up. Again, this is Jim Karamanis with the VRG Virtual Cup coming at you from Daytona International Raceway. This is Season 3, Race 3 of the Virtual Racing League. Looks like the weather is absolutely perfect. Probably a bit cooler than you would normally get in Florida at this time of year. And we're still waiting for our grid to load. Again, waiting for timing and scoring to catch up. Again, just showing you our unofficial results for qualifying as we wait for the grid. All right, and we have our grid. First, it's Stefan Vappa. Second, Darren Treacle. Third, Steve Ficacci. Fourth, Todd Angel. Fifth, Clark Ostrom. Sixth, Bob Lang. Seventh, Scott Nettleship. Eighth, Mac McCormack. Ninth, Christian Bursons with a heck of a last lap. Carlos Bonds in 10th. Cortez Bay in 11th. Matthew Barber in 12th. And this is a pace lap this evening. Looks like most of our drivers are on the grid. Still waiting for Darren Treacle. Not a lot of adjustments you can make on these cars. Most of the drivers have been taking to just running a full tank. Not seeing Treacle on the grid yet, nor Todd Angel. And neither one of them made it. They'll both be starting from the back. Not sure what happened there. Vappa missing his running mate. Treacle and Angel still not in the race. Looks like Bob Lang will scoot up. Pace cars off. Green, green, green. We have a race. Vappa leading the field in the 1 with Fakachi right behind. Looks like Orstrom has gotten past Lang for 3rd. Nettleship up to 5th. Fakachi tries to make a move into turn 1 on Vappa. Vappa taking a defensive line, but it gives Fakachi a bit of a run. We've got a race on our hands here, folks. Let's see. Can Fakachi make this stick? No. Vappa with the inside line. Holds the lead. These two already running away from the pack. Vappa pulling a half-second lead on Fakachi. Another 2.8 seconds back to Lang. Fakachi with a run, using the draft. And as soon as he pulled out of the draft, he lost the run. But it looks like he got the position. Vappa follows into the bus stop. So Fakachi on the first lap looks like he may be leading when they get the start-finish, although looks like Vappa gets a better run out of the bus stop chicane. Neither driver taking advantage of the draft. They are side by side. Looks like Vappa may have a slightly quicker run. I think he is going to get the start-finish first, but Fakachi holding on. Fakachi taking advantage of the draft now. Not sure if he stayed in it long enough. It looks like Vappa will be our official leader after the first lap. But Fakachi coming back around. No, Fakachi shown us the leader. Vappa now shown as the leader. These two right together. 3rd place, we've got Bob Lang. 4th, Carlos Bonds. 5th, Scott Nettleship. 6th, Kurt Uzbay. 7th, Niall McCabe. 8th, Mac McCormack. 9th, Ralph Salomon. And 10th, Matt Barber. Clark Orstrom, who had been running 3rd, is now back in 11th. Burson's back in 12th. Angel's a lap down, and Treacle did not make the start. Not sure what happened to Treacle. It would have been a treat to see him up there with Fakachi and Vappa. This is one of the closest battles on track. We also have Mac McCormack attempting to make a move on Niall McCabe. Looks like Mac's going to be able to make the move. And he'll slide up to 8th place. Nice move from McCormack. Clark Orstrom trying to make a move on Matt Barber, trying to make a move on Niall McCabe. Orstrom seems to have the speed. That looks like Nettleship. No, that's Barber that they just went by. And this is Angel a lap down. Back up front, it looks like Steve Ficacci has grabbed the lead. Let's see if we can get that on replay here. Looks like Ficacci taking advantage of the draft. Going around the outside. Looks like this is the start-finish straight, yes, and enough momentum to hold it into one. Nicely done. Back live, Ficacci has pulled a half-second gap on Vappa. Another 8 seconds back to Bob Lang. And Todd Angel makes it past McCabe, continuing to move his way back up the leaderboard after starting dead last. Oh, and it looks like McCabe is having engine issues. I think he may have blown it up. Look at that trail of smoke. That is going to be one slick backstretch. Oh, and it is completely gone now. McCabe somehow still driving that car. It is really hurt though. Oh, and he's parked it. He's parked it. Poof, he's gone. And he's still on fire in the pit lane. Look at that. Back up front, Stefan Vappa reeling in Steve Ficacci. The draft once again, making this an exciting race. And Vappa attempts to make the move, coming out onto the banking. He's got a little bit of momentum, but he's back a bit. Heading around NASCAR 3, they are neck and neck. Looks like Vappa will have the momentum. But Ficacci coming back. Ficacci somehow finds a little bit of momentum. Maintains the lead. See if he can hold it going into one. It seems that he has done so. Taking a little bit of a defensive line. What a great race between these two. Clark Orkstrom trying to work his way around Todd Angel using the draft. Horstum still trying to run down Angel. These two running very similar lap times. Looks like Vappa has gotten back by Focacci. These two running very similar lap times. Focacci with the fastest lap of the race right now to 2:12.407. Just a few hundredths faster than Vappa. Stefan has the inside line. Looks like he'll be able to hold off Focacci into one. These two racing very cleanly. What a great race. Looks like Angel has gone off, allowing Orstrom to take the spot. Nettleship also slides by. These three battling for 6. Kurt Uzbey up to 5th. All four of these cars very much in the mix for top 5. Carlos Bonds currently a little lonely in 4th position. Bob Lang even lonelier in 3rd. Looks like Focacci has just gotten by Vappa again coming into the bus stop. These two trading the lead virtually every lap. And Vappa using the draft again. I tell you what, if these two can keep mistake-free, it's a crapshoot who's going to win. They're side by side going into one. Focacci with the inside line has the position. Let's jump on board with Vappa. Vappa following very tightly in formation to take advantage of that draft. And he takes advantage. And it looks like he'll lead going into the bus stop. On board with Focacci now. Let's see if he can take advantage of the draft. Coming back on to the NASCAR. And it looks like Focacci is going to be able to use the draft to take the position once again. Back on board with Vapa. Focacci has it at the start-finish line, but Vapa has the inside line. Is he going to be able to hold on? Yes! Leading in the 1. What great driving from both of these fierce competitors. Tough, but clean. Neither driver has put a wheel wrong yet. Just beautiful racing. Great craftsmanship from both of them. Focacci down to a 2:12.1 with the fastest lap. Vapa at a 2:12.2. Uzbek continuing to hold on to 5th position. See if we can't give you the gaps. Angel and Orstrom still close behind. Oh, it looks like Nettleship has just gotten by Ostrom. Oh no, Clark may have had an issue. Looks like we've had a crash. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, and Clark's off track. Oh no, lost a lot of time there. Oh! Not sure what happened to Clark here. Looks like frustration has maybe taken over. And Clark's out. Not sure what happened there. Let's go back live. And at the front, it looks like Vapa and Focacci trading positions yet again. Vapa again leading into 1. These two continuing their fierce battle. Just beautiful to watch. Looks like Angel is running down Kurt Uzbek. Let's see if he can make the draft work for him. He's pulled out. They're side by side. Angel getting maybe back into the draft. No. Uzbek continuing to hold the position. This is the battle for 5th. Good job from both of these drivers. Uzbek taking the defensive line. Let's see if Angel can take advantage. No! What terrific car placement from Kurt. Just kept Todd from getting the momentum necessary to get by. Well done. Up front, it looks like Focacci has taken the position from Vapa yet again. But Vapa looks like he's going to take it again on the backstretch, but Focacci has the inside. Will Focacci be able to turn that into a lead come turn 1? These two continue to run side by side. Looks like Focacci has it at the line. Diving into turn 1, he has a position. And folks, we're halfway through the race, and these two are still maybe a few inches apart at most. Fikachi with the inside line has a run on Vappa, but does not look like he's going to be able to make it stick. Oh, he's got the inside line now, though. Vappa giving plenty of racing room. Maintains the lead. Angel making another move on Uzbek, but he's not in the draft. Does not look like he's going to be able to take it. These two having a great battle for fifth. Back up front. Looks like Fikachi is going to take the position again from Vappa going into the bus stop. And it looks like Vappa is going to be able to use the draft again coming out of the bus stop. Boy, I tell you what, I'm not sure if I would want to be first or second with these two coming out of the bus stop, headed to the checkered flag. It is anyone's guess who is going to take this race. So Fikachi has it at the line. And he's able to hold on through turn one. Their fast laps of the race are almost identical. Their last lap is absolutely identical at a 2:13.366. Absolutely identical previous lap times. Unbelievable. These two couldn't possibly be any more evenly matched. Angel working on Uzbek again. Let's see if he can make the draft work for him this time. He has a run. Looks like Uzbek's going to have the position at the line. Angel is going to... Oh, he takes the inside line. It looks like he has the pass coming into one. Well done. Todd Angel worked very hard for several laps. Very clean driving from both drivers. Uzbek taking the inside line. Angel using the whole track. I think this might be where he starts to pull away a little bit. Back up front. Vappa leading Fikachi. This is about the biggest the lead has been in quite a while. Vappa got a great run. And here's the draft. Sucking them right back together again. Fikachi moving to the outside. Fikachi had it at the line. Vappa's got it into one. "15 minutes to go. It's still anybody's race." Uzbek continuing to keep right on Angel. These two running very similar lap times, right on top of each other. Great battle here. Looks like Uzbek's a little bit behind now. But can he use the draft to suck back in? Yes, he can. He's got a great run. Oh, but he gets sideways. Oh! Well done to main control of the car. Good heads up by Todd. Looks like he pulled out of the gas a little bit, and Kurt has the position again. Nice job, Kurt. These two putting on a show, and back up front, Ficacci takes the position again into the bus stop. And coming out of the bus stop, Stefan once again has the draft on his side. Here we go again. Yet another pass. And it looks like Vapa's going to have it at the line. No, Ficacci has it at the line. And Ficacci has it in the 1. Ficacci gets a little wide. Oh, Vapa takes the position. Great driving. Both drivers are pushing now. Fastest lap times continuing to come down. Oh, and it looks like Uzbek had an incident. Let's see if we can take a look. Uzbek leading Angel. Oh, and it looks like... Nettleship lost it. Uzbek swerves to avoid it. And Angel gets the position. Back up front. Vapa leads Ficacci in the horseshoe. Actually, this is the bus stop. Back onto the banking. Once again, this is the closest battle on track. Ficacci using the draft yet again. But boy, as soon as you pull out of the draft, you can see the car just turns into a wall. And Vapa has a much faster run through the bus stop. Uses it to get side by side with Ficacci, but I think this might actually cost him because he won't have the advantage of the draft. These two are going to be side by side down the back straight again. What a show these two drivers have put on. Vapa leading at the line. But Ficacci has it into 1 again. It looks like we missed a pass. And here's where Stefan got Ficacci. Ficacci checked up a little bit because of Nettleship, and Vapa takes advantage. And back live. Ficacci in the draft again. Once again, using the draft effectively. Vapa has the lead going into the bus stop. Vappa gets a much better run through the bus stop. Opens up just over a half second. Still within drafting range. Yep, Focaccia using the draft effectively, closing the gap again. Coming to start finish. Looks like Focaccia gets the position. Oh, but he's a little too wide. And Vappa has it back into one. 8 minutes left. Anyone's race. Bob Lang still lonely in third, running all by himself. Carlos Bonds by himself in fourth. Todd Angel has pulled a 4-second gap on Kurt Uzbay now. Matt Barber back in seventh. McCormack lonely in eighth. Another 30 seconds back to Ralph Salomon. Lonely as well. Nettleship's in the pits. Orstrom's out. McCabe's out. Burzen's out. So Focaccia, taking advantage of the brick going through the air, which is Stefan Vappa's Skip Barber, uses it to close down the gap yet again. And Focaccia has a really good run. Looks like as soon as he pulled out, he's ran into that brick wall again. These cars cut a big hole for the car behind, but once you give that up, it's like hitting a wall. Focaccia had it at the line, but Vappa's back ahead going in the one. Once again, anyone's race. Six minutes left. Focaccia is a little cleaner through there. Let's see if he can make it stick. Vappa's on the inside. He's going to keep the position. On board with Focaccia. Focaccia using the draft again. Gets ahead of Vappa. Into the bus stop. Steven once again a bit more rapid through the bus stop. Getting a great run coming out of the bus stop. Pulls back in to get a little bit more draft. Let's watch as he slingshots by the Focaccia family racing Skip Barber. Focaccia and Vappa side by side headed down the main straight. Fakachi has it at the line, and he has it in the turn one. Complete four-wheel drift through one, which allows Vappa to get a good run. Side by side into two. Vappa very wisely backs off, gives racing room. Mac McCormack looks like he had an incident. Let's see if we can pick it up here. Oh, when he's sideways into the bus stop. That Uzbek gets by pretty easily. So Fakachi leading by a half second on the front straight. The draft doing its trick again as Stefan closes the gap on Steve once again. These two still glued together going into the bus stop. Stefan seems to get a little bit of a better run through the bus stop. Taking advantage of the draft, pulls out. These two are side by side, neck and neck again, going down the start-finish straight. And we are just over 2 minutes left in this race. Fakachi leads at the line. Fakachi holds it into one. Vappa making a run again. The rest of the pack still strung out. Will stay with the leaders. Once again, this is the closest battle on track. Both drivers pushing hard now. Vappa once again taking advantage of the draft to pull out. Less than a minute left in the race. I'm not sure if they have the white flag yet or not. Vappa gets a great run coming out of the bus stop. Fakachi a half second back. The draft doing his trick, though, as he's closing the gap yet again. Oh, he's got a big run. He's got a big run. Pulling to the high side. Fakachi leading at the line. Vappa leading in the one. This is the last lap, I believe. Oh, Fakachi gets a good run on Vappa. Looks like he's got the position. Going through the horseshoe. Fakachi leads. Vappa keeps the pressure on. What a race. Neither driver's really made a mistake yet. Oh, Vappa! What a move! Sneaks under Ficacci. Back onto the banking. Now Ficacci has the draft. Not sure if he has enough of a run to take him into the bus stop or not. Not sure if I'd want to be leading through the bus stop at this point. Oh, Vappa may be in the catbird seat if this is the last lap. Vappa once again getting a slightly better run through the bus stop. He's in the draft. He swings around Ficacci. Vappa's out front. They're neck and neck. Ficacci closing the gap. Oh! Vappa takes it at the line. What a finish. The gap is 0.06 of a second. What a race. Incredible race from both of these drivers. I lost track of how many times they passed each other. Bob Lang, lonely through the bus stop, ran a solid race. Well-deserved podium for Bob Lang. And he'll take it. He's back onto the front stretch. Coming around the start finish. And Bob Lang, congratulations with a podium finish. On board with Carlos Bonds. Seems to has 4th place secured. Congratulations, Carlos. Todd Angel, he's had an exciting race. Had some sort of mishap at the beginning. He's somehow gone from last to 5th. Had a great battle with Kurt Uzbey, but pulled 26 seconds on him at the end. Looks like Kurt may have had an incident. See if we can see what happened to Kurt. Yeah, it looks like Kurt had an incident in the bus stop. Let's see. Oh, just a little spin out. That'll cost you some time. And with your unofficial results, I could have sworn Vappa was listed first, but they're showing Ficacci. The results are showing Ficacci. I could have sworn we saw Vappa. Not quite sure what happened. Bob Lang is 3rd, Bonds 4th, Angel 5th, Uzbey 6th, Barber 7th, McCormick 8th, Salmon 9th, Nettleship Ryan runs out your top 10. Let's see if we can go back on board. So this is the end of the race. Still trying to understand exactly who won the race. Boy, it does look like Focacci got it. And it is Focacci. Focacci with a win. Desperately trying. There we go. We have it right there. Focacci with a win. Congratulations. What a race. Let's see if we can pull our drivers in now. Get some interviews. We've got some guys jumping in the lobby. Let's see if we can pull some of our drivers in. Steve Focacci, Stefan Vappa. This is Jim Karamanis. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep, I hear you, Jim.
What an incredible race, you two. Unbelievable. I was trying to go back and count how many passes we had for the lead, and it was more than I have fingers for sure. So, do you guys know who won?
I'm looking at the results now, and I could see him out of the side monitor, so I know he got me.
Yeah, I thought I had him by a foot or two.
Yeah, looks like you got him by about a foot. It was funny. iRacing was actually showing Stefan as the winner, and I guess it's because you got back by right after start finish. But when the official results came up, they showed Steve in the lead. So incredible race, so exciting. So Stefan, you seem to have the pace in qualifying. Tell us what happened in qualifying and how things changed in the race.
Yeah, qualifying went pretty well, except that I had always planned on sort of tagging on to someone and drafting to get a fast time. But the track was strangely empty of cars to draft. So I had to do my qualifying time all by myself. But it went just fine, obviously. And then, in the race, I think if I could have broken the draft, I probably could have kept it open, but I just could not break the draft because Steve stuck, all he had to do was stick half a second behind me going onto the banking, and it was all over. I mean, we could have swapped the lead every lap if we'd wanted to, but sometimes we were trying not to see what would happen, and other times we were trying to get in front to see what would happen. There was no sure thing in this race.
Yeah, well, it was really exciting to watch. So Steve, you're usually in the booth. This week, you jumped up into the car.
Yeah.
Talk us through it.
So I jumped into practice cold, and I didn't have any laps here. But I think I was quickly, into the 212s, which I was pretty happy with. And I recognized pretty quickly it was going to be a huge draft race. So I was trying to find a few lines. Like turn one, I was a little iffy. I wasn't really sure where the exit was. So, that corner, and I don't know which corner it is, but the right-hand turn, before you get on the straightaway, that one was throwing me off a little bit. I couldn't find the fastest line, but like I said, Stefan was saying, the draft was huge. So as long as you didn't screw it up too bad, you could still hang on. There was even a point where I think Stefan made a mistake, and I got a little bit more than a second on him, and I was like, maybe this might work. And then, no, he was right back on me, so...
Well, it seemed like both of you were stronger at different parts of the track also, which made it impossible for either one of you to pull away.
Yeah, that was for sure. I think Stefan, as well as I was just trying a couple little different things during the race, just trying to see if I can get a little edge. But it seemed like, whether you're in front or behind, there was a little strategy, and you could probably win either way. We discussed it a little bit after the race. I think there was like a perfect moment where if you timed it, you could have got past and not got repassed. But neither of us knew where it was, so so we ended up just going for it.
So in qualifying, Stefan, you were slightly faster. Darren and Steve were right on top of each other. Were you guys surprised when Darren didn't take the grid?
Well, he announced that he wasn't going to make it. He had some strange excuse about needing to eat. I don't know how sustenance comes in before racing, but strange idea.
Yeah, he was in second place and jumped out to have dinner. So I hope it was something really good, Darren. I'm sure Jade cooked up something that was irresistible for Mr. Treacle. So sorry we missed him in the race. It would have been great to see three of you swapping for the lead, but boy,
that would have made it a strategically impossible race.
Yeah, the car in third coming out of the chicane would have won.
Yeah, very possibly true.
We would have been going so fast.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. And each time the person that was behind going into the bus stop seemed to have the lead at the start-finish line, but not necessarily in turn one.
Yeah, there's a bit of side draft, I think, that helps the car that's getting passed. And usually the car getting passed is also on the inside, so he has the shorter turn, around the tri-oval.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could have the lead, and the car that was drafting would pop out, and it would look like they were going to pass start finish faster, but there was a strange slowness to the line, just one car width up. It just started to drag off.
Yeah, it seemed like if you didn't stay in the draft quite long enough and pulled out too early, you would hit a wall and then you'd lose the run. But if you stuck with it long enough, it gave you just enough momentum to sort of gingerly make your way by. It was almost like slow motion, even though you guys were going at 120 miles per hour.
Yeah. I was talking to Steve afterwards, and I said that, like you say, I think there was a perfect moment to pop out, and I think that I actually got too good of a run through the bus stop on the last lap, and had to pop out too early, or risk taking my wing off on his rear tire.
Yeah, I think when you go back and watch the replay, I think you'll hear that in my commentary. Actually, you seem to have the better run through the bus stop, and I think it cost you most of the time. I think it may have cost you the race, actually being faster in the bus stop.
I actually think you're correct on that. I couldn't figure out how to fix it. It's very difficult to go lower than your pace.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep the rhythm if you slow yourself down to try to make a target of some sort. I don't know how the F1 guys do it, but that was basically it. I had too good of a run through the bus stop, and it just meant I had to pop out too soon. I tried feathering the throttle, but I was still catching, even with the 3/4 throttle.
That's amazing. Well, it was quite the show. Thank you both. You're both going to really enjoy this when you go back and watch it. It was fantastic from the spectator seat.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So, Stefan, you now have a commanding lead going into the fourth and final race of this little mini-series we have. Next week, we'll be at Lime Rock Park. Tell us what you're expecting to see happen next week.
Well, it depends on who shows up, because that's been the lottery this season, hasn't it? You never know. I mean, Darren pops in one week, doesn't pop in, then he pops in and leaves. He's never done that before.
He's never done that before. I was actually supposed to be racing with you guys tonight, but unfortunately Ian Wisbin had something come up with work. So
yeah. So I mean, we missed having you out there. We missed having Ian out there, but we're glad you made the sacrifice to do the broadcast for sure. Lime Rock is going to be. You couldn't pick a more different track. I mean, they're roughly the same shape, but other than that.
Well, I suspect had I been on track, I would have just seen you guys way off in the distance. So at least this way I got to get a much better seat at watching you guys change position over and over again. So it was much better from a spectator standpoint. But yeah, you're right. We'll be at the sifting bowl known as LRP next week, and we haven't been there yet with these cars. It's going to be interesting to see what it brings.
Yep.
I think it'll be a little bit closer than when you guys are the GT3 cars. The GT3 cars are just so wide. There's only room for two, where the Skippies are little. It opens up the track a little bit, maybe make it a little more exciting for you.
I tell you what, I saw both of you make some passes in some places where it never would have happened in the GT3 cars tonight. So I think you're right. I think we're going to see some interesting passing next week at LRP. So congratulations to both of you, and Steve, we'll see you in the booth next week.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for putting on a great show, both of you. Congratulations, and let you guys get off to the pub and enjoy a drink.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
We'll see you next week at the spiritual home of the Skip Barber car.
Can't wait. Good night,
See ya.
guys.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, this is Jim Karamanis with the VRG. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage of the VRG VRL, the VRG Virtual Cup at Daytona International Speedway. It was an exciting night tonight, watching Stefan Vappa and Steve Ficacci go back and forth all night long. I don't think we've ever had a night where we've called so many passes. So we hope you enjoyed the coverage, and we'll see you next week at Lime Rock. Thanks and good night.